Hello everyone, and welcome to join our Colorlight online training course. During this training, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. You could type your questions in the chat window here. Our tech guy will reply to you, and we will also leave time for the Q&A session in the end. We will upload the recorded videos into YouTube. You could find us by scanning the QR code or search Colorlight Technology in YouTube. And you could also follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn by scanning below QR code. This is our number 11 online training course. Today, what we're going to learn about is LED wall health monitoring. It is mainly designed to monitor the working status of LED video wall together with the sender and the receiver devices, so as to make sure that everything would go as planned. If you want to learn about the previous training courses, you could search Colorlight Technology on YouTube and you will find all the uploaded videos. We will also record today's course and upload it into YouTube shortly. Okay, let me introduce myself. This is Entity from Colorlight, and it is my pleasure here today to give the presentation. If there is anything that I could help, please email to entity@lednets.com or send me messages directly. So today, what we're going to learn about is LED wall health monitoring with two parts. The first part is a synchronous device by monitoring with iSet software, such as the Z series, the X series, and the S series. The second part is a synchronous device by monitoring with Colorlight Cloud. And the sender is the C series player like the C4, C6, and C7. After each introduction, I will perform a live demo with both iSet and Cloud. And in the end of this course, we will review some of the questions get asked in the Q&A session. Today's course will introduce the advanced feature, which is monitoring, and there are some details that you will need to pay attention to. So take it easy and let's begin. Let's start with synchronous device. For the sender device, we provide 4 types of monitoring. Sender device, the video signal, the frozen screen, black screen, and 0% brightness screen. You need to know that the black screen and the 0% brightness screen will look like the same, because at that time, the LED video wall will just go black. However, it is caused by different settings. So we make it clear here to let you know which setting you should change to let the LED video wall go back to normal display. For the receiver device, we provide 4 types of monitoring now. The temperature, humidity, power supply by 2 units, and voltage monitoring by 2 units. If you need, we can unlock more monitoring features with customized software, including the smoke, electric fan, and speed of fan, the door of the cabinet, whether it is open or closed. Please note that the monitoring features on receiver device will require customized receiver cards, customized hardboard, and customized cabinet. So if you do have the need for monitoring all the devices integrated with LED video wall, make sure that you will tell your requirements clearly in advance. Here I share a photo of the monitoring card, the M3. It can be used to monitor the temperature. Here, the black one, this is a temperature sensor on board. And the humidity, here, the blue one, this is a humidity sensor on board. And the power supply by 2 units here, voltage monitoring by 2 units here. We also leave the interfaces for smoke here. And electric fan here. And the speed of fan here. And the status of the door on the cabinet, whether it is open or closed, we could use this one to check. For that part is for signal into the receiving card. So again, please note that the monitoring features on receiver device will require customized receiving cards, customized hub board, and customized cabinets. If you do have the need for monitoring all the devices integrated with LED video wall, make sure that you will tell your requirements clearly in advance. I will now go and show you the first demo with iSet software. We have got a small 4x2 LED video wall driven by 2 units X16 processor here. 1 unit for the main and another for the backup. Also, I put a C2 here to give an extra HDMI signal into the main X16. Okay, now let's open up the iSet software. I will now drag the iSet into the shared screen. Go to the first tab, device information, check the sender, and check the receiver. Here you can see there are 2 senders, X16 with same firmware, and 8 units receiving card. And go to the iSet, click Advanced Authorization with password 168. In Chinese, that means always make a good fortune. And okay, the left click on iSet again, go to settings, enable the software features. And today we're going to show you the monitoring features here. And another thing that you may want to know is version of the software iSet. This is the latest one, version 4.2, and you could download the latest one on the website colorlightinside.com. The monitoring feature is only available on the iSet version 4.2. Now you could download the latest one on the colorlightinside.com, the website. Okay, always check the video source first. The main X16, I put the HDMI and DY here. Here you could find that the HDMI is not a standard one. I gave it 55 Hertz, and because I want to show you the video signal monitoring feature in the following demo, and I will share later the DY. And the second one also only with DY input. This is a standard one. And go to design. Always read back the connected cabinets first. And set the second one as a backup. Just simply right click on the second X16 and go to sender backup. Let it go back up for the first sender and save all senders. Then the backup job would be finished. Now we go to the monitoring directly. Here, go to the monitoring settings. I'll show you. The general setting is to set the refresh interval. The minimum is 10 seconds and the maximum is 2 hours. You could choose what kind of time period you will need to use to refresh the page. And for the sender device, we provide 4 types of monitoring features here: the video signal, the screen freeze, the black screen, the 0% brightness screen. For the receiving device, we provide the temperature, the humidity, the power supply by 2 units, and the voltage monitoring by 2 units. And if there is something wrong with LED video wall and you need to get the notification, we could use the email to send the alarm information to your email address. Here it is to set the exceptions when there is something wrong. You could let it go with minimum 1. And you could also choose to get the recovery notice. Here you could choose to add the email. entity@rednas.com. And click OK here. Sorry. Modify because I didn't make it correct here. And you could send a test email to make sure that the email address is correct, just like I did. And after the basic setting finished here, we could go and set the video signal standard format here. For example, for the first sender, we enable the HDMI and the DVI monitoring. Just apply and click OK. For the second sender, set the DY1 and apply and OK. Here we could just save this project to sender because as you can see from here, we have everything ready. So now we could save the project into the sender. And since there are already projects saved in the sender 1 and 2, so now we could choose to cover it, to override it. Now it is successfully saved into both senders, and now we could choose to start monitoring. Okay, as you can see from here, the first sender, because now we expect the 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz with the standard HDMI input into the first min X16, but actually it is only 55 Hz and the resolution is different. So there is alarm information because the ADID settings you need to change now. So this is the video signal alarm information, and this information you will get by your email. And now I want to show you the loop backup alarm information. Now we will turn off the power for the second X16. Now it's part of. As you can see from here we set the second X16 as a backup for the first X16, and the mapping is going from left to right, then go down, and then go left again to the first port of the second unit X16. And now we're part of the second X16. So you could see there is a notification to let you know that there is something wrong with second X16, and now you need to check it. Also, you could find the alarm information with the tips here. So when you receive that information, you need to go back and check what's wrong with it. Now we would power on the backup X16, and it will go back to normal automatically. Actually, you don't need to refresh the status, but sometimes, you know, it's like a necessary button with unnecessary function. So as you can see, we didn't refresh that page, but here now it goes back to normal. And if you like, you could refresh the status, but sometimes, and most of the time, it is not necessary. And now I will show you another loop backup alarm information. We will remove the RJ45 cable between the first cabinet and the second cabinet. Okay, now you will find that the RJ45 cable from the first sender, from the first cabinet into the second cabinet now is disconnected, and you also get the notification here. So that is to let you know what's wrong with the LED screen and where is wrong with the LED screen. So that this makes things much easier for the troubleshooting. And now we put the RJ45 cable back into the original place. And you could see now it goes back to normal. So that's what we already provided for the standard controller, the X16. You could use that to check the video signal and the loop backup status and another. Now I just freeze the LED screen. Oh, sorry. Now the monitoring is enabled, so you cannot change anything because now the read-only mode is enabled. Now I stop the monitoring first and go back to control, choose to freeze the screen. And here you will find the notification here. The screen controlled by sender 1 is frozen. The screen controlled by sender 2 is frozen, so that you could choose to unfreeze it. And now the screen will go back to normal. And another one, blackout. This is like the black screen. You could see from here. You will also receive the information here. The screen controlled by sender 1 is a blackout. The screen controlled by sender 2 is a blackout. You could choose to cancel the blackout and let it go back to the normal display. And another one, the last one, 0% brightness. Here you may find that the LED screen just go black like the blackout, but here, you know, you need to know that they are caused by different settings. Here I just adjust the brightness into 0, so you see the LED screen go black, and you find the information here. The brightness value of sender 1 is 0. So here is to let you know what setting you have changed and what setting you will need to change to make sure that the LED video wall will go back to normal display. And now I put it into 50%. Okay, now I set brightness for both. So you will find that LED video will just go back to the normal display. And about the receiver device monitoring, you need to know that that requires a customized hardboard, receiving card, and cabinets. Already provided the temperature, humidity, power supply, and voltage. You need to know that all of that require the customized hardware. So we have already leave the interfaces for that. If you do have the requirement for the monitoring, you need to make sure that everything will be set and everything will be designed with the monitoring, with temperature, humidity, power supply, and voltage. If you want, we could also provide the smoke, the electric fan, the status of the door on the cabinet. Okay, that would be all for the iSet demo here, and we will go back to the PowerPoint again. Here I make the summaries that you will need to pay attention to when you are using the monitoring features on iSet software. You need to save the project into Sender when it is all set, and you could enable the monitoring only when everything is set. So the monitoring is the last step that you will need to do. Make sure that the other settings you will not change it here again, and then you enable the monitoring features. When the monitoring feature is enabled, the read-only mode will be enabled too. And the alarm information will be sent by email, and you could add a maximum 15 email address. You may find that sometimes you will get the 60 Hertz or 59.94 Hertz, and there will not be any alarm information because here it is kind of close to each other. So we leave some numbers in case there will always be the alarm information. For the second time, when you open up the iSet software, you should read the project from Sender first, and so that you will not need to reset everything again. And the monitoring features requires an M3, the monitoring card with sensors, different sensors, temperature, humidity, smoke, and the power supply, etc. And it also requires a customized hardware, hardboard, cabinets. Here I show you the email alarm that's sent by the iSet monitoring. This is my email address, the alarm information, the HDMI signal not matched with expected one, and the receiver card lost the connecting, so you will get all the alarm information. But you need to make sure that the PC is running with iSet software will have the internet access so that it can send the email. Now let's go to the second part, the synchronous device by monitoring with cloud. We provide 8 monitoring features, the bit error rate. This is to let you know whether the C player is connected to the receiving cards or not. The cabinet temperature and humidity, the external temperature and humidity. You need to know that they are different because they have different data source with the external temperature or humidity, and the smoke, brightness, voltage, electromagnetic, and the relay status. For below part, you need to know that that monitoring feature is kind of like the monitoring features, as we have talked about on the receiver device before, it also requires the customized receiving cards, customized hardboard, and customized cabinet. All it is to say that it is not necessary to do all the monitoring features for the LED video wall, but we do have the interfaces and we do have the ability to do that. Now I will go to the demo directly with the Colorlight Cloud platform. Enable the software, go to the server, log in with the username and password. Go to the detail, refresh. Make sure that the terminal is online first. The red means it's offline and the blue means that it's online. Go to the detail, find the status, basic information here, and now I will go directly into the monitor. The first one is the bit error rate. You could say when I did connect the LAN cable from the C4 into the LED video wall, it shows 20%, and after I connect it, it is 0, and after I disconnect it again, now it goes to the 20% again. So this is to tell you whether the LED screen is connected to the C4 or not. And that one, the cabinet temperature and humidity monitoring requires a specially design, so it's not available here, but we do have the interfaces. And the external temperature, this is the temperature that you will see, the numbers and the time. And the smoke also requires an external sensor. The brightness, here, the sensor brightness, that is to detect the surrounding, the environment brightness. This is not the LED video wall brightness. Below 1, that master brightness is the real brightness that is displayed on the LED video wall. Here we provide 2 different curves just to let you know that what is LED video wall brightness now and what is the surrounding environment brightness now. So you will not mix it. And that one is external humidity sensor, get the data here. You could say it change from time to time. And below the voltage, the electronic and magnetic, and the relay status. So we provide different monitoring features on both Synchronous device with iSet software and a Synchronous device on Colorlight Cloud. Now we will go back to the PowerPoint again. Here I also make the summaries that you will need to pay attention to when you are using the monitoring features on cloud. The same thing that you will need to do, enable monitoring only when everything is set, and that alarm information will be sent by email too. The monitoring requires external sensors with customized hardboard and cabinets. So the same word as before, make sure that you really need it and make sure that you will tell it in advance clearly. Okay, that would be all for today's presentation and demo. Now it's time for Q&A session. You could still type your questions in the chat window, or you could raise your hand so that we could unmute you and then you could talk through the microphone directly. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and make sure that you will give us feedback. If you got any question, if you got any problem, if there's anything that we could help, please do not hesitate to send me email. And you could also scan the QR code to follow us. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us today.